I was so impressed with this couple. They downsized and they did a great job at it, and they could see the future that they wanted to live. So what they did is in their mid-60s, about 7 to 10 years ago, they made a change. They adjusted their lifestyle, they adjusted the home that they lived in, and they decided what their future was gonna look like. And I've been so impressed with it that 7 to 10 years later, I still think about it. And now they're traveling, they're living a great life, but it was all because they made great decisions now so that their future self was really proud of them.
In today's video, we are going to be talking about the financial implications, the right timing, as well as the resources that are available to you to help you in this transition.
So the biggest question that we get first off is, where are you gonna move to? Because you love your house, you have lots of memories, and it's kind of hard to pack that all up and just move somewhere else. And the big thing about that is a lot of people focus on trying to find a place with no stairs. But there's a lot of other options. We're down here in Point McKay. These places have stairs, and we've helped a lot of people downsize here. But there's a lot of other areas that are good too, right?
Yeah, the question is do you want to be close to amenities? Who are your people? Where do you like to go grocery shopping? Where are your doctors? That all impacts the next chapter as you look to right size or downsize.
Calgary has been actually voted. There was a poll that was done, or an article that was put together by Sotheby's, that said Calgary is in the top 5 cities to relocate and retire in Canada. And so if you're coming from outside of Calgary and you're trying to downsize or make the right size change, Calgary could be a fantastic neighborhood, community, city for you to do that in.
Finances is always a hot topic when it comes to moving. Here are 3 things to consider. 1, will you be putting a mortgage on this new property? And do you need to postpone your retirement in order to make this move? Number 2, do you need to sell your current property in order to finance the new property? And how long is it going to take you to find the next property? Lastly, sometimes it's better to rent than it is to buy. I just helped the sweetest lady of 86. She moved from her home of 60 years into a condo which had some amenities, which included meals as well as medical assistance. And similar to her, it may make sense for you to rent versus buy. But really, that's why we need to sit down over a cup of tea and have a conversation and figure out what works for you.
Knowing when to move can be a real challenge because there's so many opinions out there. You've got your kids, you've got your friends, you've got media, you've got, your internal voice saying, I don't want to move yet. And there's so many opinions that are just hitting you all the time, right? And so ultimately, what we have seen is that the hardest thing for individuals when they're downsizing is leaving it too late for a decision to be made by their loved ones, their kids, siblings, whatever it may be. And we don't want you to get that in situation. So what you need to do is just basically think about, what is your life gonna look like over the next 10 years? Where do you wanna go? What do you wanna do? What does this next chapter of your life look like? And be able to figure out how you wanna move into that space. Figure out the space that you want to move into. Do you want to have stairs? Do you want to have a bungalow? Do you want to be near friends that have also made the move? Is there certain complexes that you're really interested in? Whatever it is, think about that. And all of those decisions and thoughts that you have are going to help guide the timing of when you should actually make this transition. So moving can be something that is very overwhelming. And if you have all of the stuff in your house, trying to sort through it can just feel like you don't want to move at all. So it's easier just to stay, when the reality is that you probably should move forward. So one of the resources that we have that we've been helping with a lot of clients is connecting you with someone to help you go through your stuff. So what does that look like?
Yeah, family and friends aren't always helpful. So we have resources and they specifically sit with you and go through each of your spaces to determine what is worth moving to your new space or what you need to sell or get rid of. So that is helpful, just to have a team around you so you don't get lost and buried in the stuff that you have in your house.
Secondly, we can help you with mortgages. The thing with mortgages right now is that just because you've been banking somewhere for the last 40, 50 years doesn't mean that they're automatically going to give you a mortgage. Now, if you need a mortgage, you may not. But if you need that mortgage, even a bridge financing, because if you're buying a next place, you might have to hold two. Some of that stuff is going to come a little bit harder because banks are changing rules. Things are tighter now and it's not as easy. But lastly, with the mortgage broker, it all comes together with having the right team.
Yeah, and so just working with somebody who has your objective in mind. You are too young, old to sleep on your daughter or son's couch. So we need to have a strategic plan of where is your next spot? What do you need? And sometimes that's people I've talked to, they're heading to Mexico, they're heading to Europe, and others, they're just moving to a condo. So let's chat and have a plan.
And so all of these things are going to be completely useless if you are one of these 7 types of buyers. What am I talking about? Well, if you head up to this video here, if you were one of them, this is not going to be very helpful.